Okay, that's
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you do the intro.
yeah. Just trying to get this right,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen. Broadcasting from parts unknown, it is the Clem and Claw show every second and fourth Mondays here to you. We are live.
We are live, man. Not much happening, man, these days, man. Been chilling at the house. Got off of work early today, but other than that, nothing special, man. Nothing special.
Okay.
A lot of chaos going on. Without further
Um,
ado, with further ado, let me get into the headline news. So basically, Sweet Fights came back this week, this month actually. Yes, Sweet Fights
okay.
had their return fight on the 1st of May, which was Saturday. He had two
Okay.
new people. He had two new people. I think. Well, actually, one is not new. One has been on there before. Her name is Angel. The new one was Taylor. Uh, the fight was like 15 to 20 minutes. It's not out yet, but it's a
But
15
it
to 20
did get
minutes.
completed.
It
It
got
did get
completed.
shot. It got
Yeah,
shot and it got completed. Okay.
it got shot. It got completed. You know, the rules were basically no punches or kicks to the body, no face slapping. So basically, simple catfight rules, pretty much. You're gonna be serious with it. I guess one girl was running late, so there was no interviews. So bye bye on that.
Hmm.
No pre or post fight interviews. They just got right to the fight. So simple. Anything else? All right. Now I'll tease some people a little bit. It looks like your girl Reagan is going to be in action very soon, probably next month for Tillytown. I
Okay.
guess she has a new girl named Lorna. I don't know who Lorna is, but I guess she's the one who approached Reagan. Pretty much told Reagan that she wanted to have this fight. I guess. And you know, Reagan was being Reagan. She responded. They had a conversation, and then Tilly jumped in. So you know what that means. So Tilly jumped in, and she said something to the effect of the fight could happen at the beginning of June or the middle of June. So it hasn't been announced yet, but it's coming.
So this girl just happened, or this young lady happened to follow her on Twitter or something, and she decided,
I
or
guess
it's
so.
one of those things that, hey, that hey, I'm going to, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking one of the fans probably asked her a question to see if she had any interest, and I guess she did. So she talked to Reagan on Twitter. I guess they do follow each other, right? They do
Okay.
follow each other on Twitter. So she asked the question. Reagan answered back, and then and then eventually I got a hold of it. And of course I'm like, Tilly, do you know that these two actually want to go? And then Tilly, did her due diligence, right? She did her due diligence, and yeah, it seems like they're going to do it in June.
Okay.
I also talked to Paris, so during a Twitter account, I asked her during the conversation where you have DMs, you ask questions. So I was asking questions to her, and I asked her because you remember Paris said she wants to do like 5 to 8 cat fights this year.
Correct.
You remember that part? So I asked
I
her.
do remember that.
Do you have any interest in fighting for sweet fights this year? That's the first question I asked. Then I asked, also, do you know the rules for sweet fights are different from Tilly's? So, as you know I'm going to ask that question. Her
Right.
answer was IDK yet. I'm thinking about just stopping my catfighting career, honestly, which shocked me because I wasn't ready for that one. Then I asked, is it because of the money or is it due to the scratches and bruises on the body the following day? I wish you the best of luck if you decide to call it a career. So that's what I said. That was my next thing. Then she said, it's the money. Me and Gia had to cancel the fight because no one sponsored. Right? We talked about this one already. Right? You know about that
Okay.
one. Then she says, plus it's always difficult to find an opponent that's close to my size. We know that. We see that. We know that. We recognize that. Then she said, so I'm thinking about just giving up on catfighting. The interesting part was she's talking about doing cosplay, which is interesting. I
Right.
don't. I guess she wants to do catfighting, but she don't want catfighting to be her main thing anymore. I guess she wants to do cosplay and all this stuff. That's the whole main thing. Then I said, understand. And I said, money wise, what will you accept to do a catfight? I know this was a stupid question I asked, but I asked anyways. I already knew what
Yes,
the
I
answer was.
understand. Right.
I
That's
know.
why I said that. I'm like, what are we talking about?
I asked a stupid question anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when she's now I left it at that. So is there anything else on here on my list? Yeah, that's it for the
Well,
catfight news.
one of the things is, I think she had shared that with me as well.
Mm,
And one of the things that I shared with her is that I think if I don't know if she wants to do this, but I
yep.
think if she decided to if she had decided to do the hey lyric,
Hey lyric.
Hey
yeah,
guys.
yay. Hey, give it a second. We were gonna finish at the top. I think if she decided, let's say, go to Europe,
Yep.
like say did a European tour because her build is a lot similar to me. Like when I think of like say like IFW or Foxy Combat or
Uh-huh.
Fighting Divas or something of that nature, then I think she'll get her feel. Like she with Mel and Eva and some of them because they're all in that build, then fine. You'll get your feel of it. So
Right.
okay. But hey, it is what it is. So
Yep.
you said that there was also news of Alexa Brooke. We're talking
Yes.
about one of the
Yes. One of my guys, Al, was talking to. I guess Alexa Brooke is talking about. I guess she wants to come back to catfighting, so she's asking fans who should she be catfighting. Of course, most of them
Lord.
said Sarah Brooke because most of them are stupid, but most of them said Sarah Brooke. And then there was some that said Paris, and then he brought up Gia Love, and I'm like, yeah, that might be a better one for Alexis to start with. I don't know if she's ready. I don't know if she's ready for Sarah Brooke. That's just way out there.
Yeah, that's in the deep end. What
She ain't ready
about
for
the,
that.
the Brooke Gilly fight that was supposed to happen that never did?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I don't know. The thing I know she wants to do it. The question is Brooke ready? Really ready physically to do that?
Right,
Right.
because we
Both of them
still
are the
hadn't
same
seen
question.
her
We still haven't
on
heard
action.
anything.
Right,
We
since
haven't
the
heard
whole
nothing.
ankle. That's true. Well,
And both right, and like you said, both of these ladies are both. Well, I won't say Gilly retired. I won't say Brooke retired, but Alexa Brooke kind of retired because of injuries. I don't know if she's physically ready. They have to get the speed for that, so it's gonna be interesting. We'll see. Yeah, that's pretty much the catfight news, man. This man quiet, very quiet. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, on the show today, Miss Lyric Lane. Hello, Lyric.
eh, we
Hey.
don't have an applause button,
We have no
unfortunately.
applause bunny at all.
That's all
We're
right.
still working on that.
I
Yeah.
think so. You having problems with your mic? Is that what I'm reading?
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
Oh yeah,
yeah, I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you too.
We can hear
Okay.
you. All
Yeah.
right. We have any questions? We have any catfight forum questions? I was waiting on someone else to come, but she might come in later. Maybe we'll see.
Yes. I'm gonna put it as a special guest. Yes, Larry, I gotta
Yes.
put it on this. Oh,
And
we have, ladies and gentlemen, now entering the stage, connecting in. Uh,
soon.
the, all we can see is just. I take it this is Adam. Adam,
Yeah, this is the
Adam,
tag
can you
team
hear
partner.
us? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Ah,
Can you hear us, Adam?
he can
I
hear
can
us.
hear you. Can you hear me?
We can't see him, but he can hear
Yeah, we
us.
can't see him, but we can hear him.
They can hear you.
All right, cool. All right.
Is he on the mobile or is he on a
Internet.
or on a laptop?
Now I'm on my phone,
Okay. Are you
Okay.
on Android or Apple?
Android.
Okay, you on
Okay.
Android and you on Google Chrome?
Whatever link Clem sent.
Okay. And then you have to turn the first time you log on, you have to turn on permissions for cameras. If you don't give it access, then it won't go through the camera part. Yeah. I don't know how you go back and fix that, but
I don't know.
not offhand.
You don't want to do this every month anyway.
Did you set the alarm clock?
I'm struggling to hell.
Try to do it. Go and set it 4 o'clock. So that sometimes I will wake up before. If I do that,
1 minute.
you know, I don't want you to be late to work.
Oh, that's Clem's dad. So I was like, wait a minute, I know that's not Adam's voice. Like
I was gonna say no.
I've heard that voice. I said no. I'm trying to see if I can look up something real quick. Excuse me.
See if I can't sign out and sign in using the web browser.
I just clicked on the link
I did too.
and accepted the
Now,
thing.
now, Lyric, are you on Google Chrome or are you on?
Yeah, because I have an Android phone and
Okay.
that's
Because I know some people have their stuff set to where it goes to Chrome, and then some people, if you have Firefox on your phone, they'll make Firefox their default, or some people have Opera, they'll make that their default. It just depends on what your default is.
yeah. I just clicked on the link, accepted everything, and boom.
Yeah, because you missed the accepted part. Then we get what we get with Adam. We see an A in the. I'd say I was going to tell Adam just log out and try to see if we can log back in.
Yeah,
I
do that.
think that's what he's doing.
Yes. So we love to have him on the summit. This is something we. And Clem, was there somebody else still supposed to come? I know we could do up to 10 on this thing. I was just.
I'm trying to get your girl Reagan to come on. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to see if I can get her on.
Okay.
She told me she could do it, but I haven't got really a response yet. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I see your girl. Yeah. I'm gonna get her on there.
We'll give Adam another second to see if he can get on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Okay. I think.
I'm just surprised I got on and he didn't because he's the tech person. He's the tech savvy person.
I'm the one.
Okay.
Yeah, and he sent me the link. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because we just see the A. We don't see. Because I'm trying to think on the camera side. Because with the Android, because shoot, I don't have nothing Android around me. I'm actually in the mountains. I mean, in Williamsburg. Well, not really the mountains, but in there's higher land than Virginia Beach. So I'm actually in Williamsburg right now.
There you go.
Have audio tonight.
You figured it out?
no,
Oh.
No, I think I'll just have audio.
didn't you? Did you just? Why don't you click on the link that you sent me?
Yep.
It's the same link that Clem sent me.
It would be a thing of the camera permissions. Either the camera permissions with Google. That's why I asked which browser did you use, because I know the default usually is Google Chrome. You may have to go in your settings, in your Android settings, and then for anything that's in Chrome.
That or I can just do this.
Okay.
That's fine.
Is there a way
That'll
you
work.
could turn it sideways? That way we get both of y'all?
That'll work.
Yay,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
even better.
That's it. That's fine.
That's even better.
We'll work with it.
Yeah,
You can log out
we'll just rock with it. Yes.
We'll work with it.
Yeah, so I'm
All
gonna add
right.
on there. I got Lyric. I'm gonna add Lyric and Adam.
Yeah, out of both.
Yes, I add them both.
You
Special
have
guest.
those off.
No, I've been messing with it.
Well, yeah. So, but we thank you for coming for this.
Thank you.
Summit. Basically,
Summit.
what we wanted to do was talk about some things of the catfight industry. I think we're at a crossroads myself where I think that we've had a window, and I think you guys can attest to this, where we've had so many ladies and talented ladies that's come through in the last 2+ years, 2 to 3 years. And now it's like, okay, it's been kind of a settling where everybody then kind of fought everybody, and you've seen our ranking list. I know me and Clem when we started the show.
Yeah, we started a fire.
Yeah, we lit a couple of fires, with Carrie and different ones and Milo.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we lit a couple of fires. but it's been kind of a settling, and one of the things that I don't know, a lot of this is pandemic related or not, that you have so many ladies that was trying to come in as far as the newbies go, that was, for lack of a better term, didn't realize how deep the water was. So when they face either a lyric or a sexy wife or a valor or something like that, and they realize, you know what? And here is they want to change rules, they want to quit, they want to, and it was just such a bad production. And it's like, I know the industry, as far as where we set up, we can't sustain that many hits, like bad productions like that.
Mhm.
From the standpoint of the participants, and it's like, how do we funnel in new girls to let them understand how deep the water is? It's just, it's that was some of the things that me and Clem, we've sat here on this panel and struggled with.
I
I know one.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
I think a lot of the onus is on the producer to send any girl who's interested in trying this, to send her a quality sample of previous productions and say, hey, this is the standard. Now, it doesn't have to be,
No, I just
Keep
made it.
talking.
I was
Keep
just made it.
talking.
I was trying to highlight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people
Keep
like, who's
talking.
talking?
no,
Keep
yeah,
talking.
it doesn't have to be some, off the chart epic cat fight, because that's going to do two things. That's going to scare that girl away, or it's going to set the bar too high. But I think if a producer if a producer shows a new girl some, at least a middle of the road production, to say, hey, this is kind of what we're looking for, nothing less, then I think that's gonna help. You've got some girls who have come in with a little bit of experience, but not necessarily cat fight experience.
All right.
And they step onto the mats and they don't know what's coming. And that's not good for her, and that's not good for the producer, and that's not good for the sponsors, because the sponsors trust that the producer is going to vet these girls.
Right.
Right.
I can see where it could be problematic. This is for all of us involved, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, there's got to be a better way. And one of the things that I bandied the idea out to Clem was about maybe having like more or less a minor league, so to speak, where like they would do like a trial fight or two. And I know for me myself, I said I would volunteer, with Claws and all that Fight Club, to be that minor league, to understand, like, look, because everybody think, oh, I know you have some other producers that might have price gouged like a lot of us, like myself, somebody smaller, out. Like, I don't have like $1,000 or $2,000 per girl to give out. I would like to, but I don't have the economic means of cash flow coming in and out to do that. But yet at the same time, it's like now everybody thinks, oh, we're $1,000 fighter, $2,000 fighter, and I'm like,
no, you're not.
No, it's just. And it's like there's levels, like Me'll say, there's levels to this.
There's levels to it.
There's levels. So I was kind of in the mind state, like, I think there needs to be a minor league to where that way the sponsors, the talent, because even for like somebody like a Lyric or like a Sexy Wife again, or like a Valor, like their matches need to be legendary. Like every time they step on the mat, like whoever they face. And it's no fun. Now, you may have some people that might really like a one-sided match, but it's like, where it's like 11, 12, nothing. And then it's like, you sit here and it's like, or like after 5 minutes, you already know it's over. It's like, okay.
Sometimes less than 5 minutes, but like you said, the cash flow, that's the limiting factor. And a lot of these producers, Tilly being a prime example, she flies these girls in from California in some cases. When Ashley fought Alexa Brooke, she flew her all the way in now from California. Now, if these girls are able to get concurrent work, if they've got other shoots, then okay, maybe right. They can figure something out financially. But if you're talking about more of a junior league kind of thing, then it's got to be local talent. because you can't afford to fly an Ashley in from California thinking that it's going to be an epic fight, and it turns into just a one-sided affair, because then you're out that money. Fans aren't necessarily going to buy it if it's one-sided, like you said. Not everybody likes that. And if sponsors, especially if sponsors, come out of pocket for that, and then this is the product they get, that's going to damage, future sponsorship.
Yeah.
So
And the producer.
for the producer, right, and also
Right.
for that fighter. You got some of these girls that come in and think they're cat fighters, think they're going to do well, and guys like you, both of you, and others, they come out of pocket for that, and then that fighter is just a no-go.
It's a dud. It is
Yeah.
like, it's like, oh. But I tell Clem all the time, I said, these things are minor miracles when they pull off. When they pull off, it goes well.
Minor miracles.
It's minor miracles. Like sometimes, like the last couple of productions I've done, I have been so physically drained and tired afterwards. Like I would let the stuff start copying into the drop, and I would just lay down and go to sleep. Like it's like, whereas I used to have energy and all that. It's like, because now it's so much more into it than it used to be. But kind of going back to what y'all said about the local fighter, the local girl, I think also geography and location has a whole lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Me and Clem, we came up with a half dozen cities. We said, okay, LA, Vegas, Dallas, Atlanta should be sneaky good, but Atlanta has been problematic for me. Maybe it's just me. I put it this way. It's not that they won't wrestle, they won't catfight. That's two different things. Yep. So Atlanta, I can find a lot of girls that would session wrestle, but did not catfight. So that's out. Mm-hmm. South Florida, and I'm saying South Florida being that Tampa, Orlando, Miami triangle. Yep. Of course, New York definitely is 10 million people. You can find somebody. And I would say Chicago is sneaky good.
Chicago is sneaky good.
Interest, but again, trying to get people in and out has always been problematic. And I would say at least the thing about DC that I like about DC is you can have enough traffic work through DC. Like you said, doing other shoots or other session things. And I would love to do something like this here, but I think what hurts, for example, me is I'm not on the 95 corridor. I think if I was on the 95 corridor, whether it was Richmond, really it has to be Richmond because everything else after that, like Emporia, I'll just use Emporia just for the sake of argument. Like Emporia or Roanoke Roads, because if you take Virginia Beach and slide it all the way over, is really right at the state line. Mm-hmm. Something that was on the way to either Raleigh. And the other good thing about Richmond, Petersburg, that also gives that split to 85. For those that want to go to Charlotte, go to Atlanta, or what have you, depending on which way they need to go. So that's why I said between that 85-95 corridor, I think if I was closer to one of those, I think I would get a lot more of the traveling talent that goes up and down the interstate. Like if you come to Virginia Beach, north of where I'm at, you're making the decision. I'm coming off the road 2 hours, right? Regardless which direction you come. If you're coming from DC, Springfield, up there, or if you come up south from Emporia, Raleigh, Charlotte, you have to make a decision. I'm going 2 hours out of my way to get to them, and then 2 hours to come back to get on the road. So you got to make it worth their while.
One of the things that we lucked out with Sherry, with Lyric's most recent fight, was one, Sherry's got some experience in competitive catfight, obviously, but she also does sessions, and she also does other fetish productions. So there were a couple fans that had stepped up, and oddly the timing, they were within a week or two of each other, had requested Lyric versus Sherry. So that's kind of what kicked that off. Would Sherry have come all the way up here to the DC area just for that? Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe. It depends on the money. I mean, because clearly it's for the money. Women like Lyric who do this for fun are 1 in a million.
Rare occasions, so very rare.
When we reached out,
I put my fingers no closer together without touching.
That's right. That's right. But when we reached out to Sherry, she was all in, and we developed a rapport. but back to my original point, she linked up with Gia, and they kind of did a little mini road tour together. They hit Raleigh, they went up to Philly, built to Philly.
Was it Philly? Yeah.
They, they did some session work up in Philly and Jersey, so they made it worth the while. So if you're lucky enough to find some of these, Sherry / Gia type women, even Kimchi, she does the sessions and the fetish work, but just a girl who is just going to do a fight for the sake of doing a fight, that's going to be hard.
Well, I agree, because it's just like some of this. And the thing is, I thought Virginia Beach being the largest city in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we have the beach. So as far as from fetish stuff that you can do with the beach and all this other stuff, like I still want to do a beach fight of some sort, because I'm like, we got all this. It's 35 miles. We can find a 12 by 12 foot area, And so I just thought that it would be more
Virginia Beach in August.
Really? Okay. All right.
Okay.
I will keep that in the August.
He's writing that down.
I will put August on my calendar, because I've been wanting to do this thing. I think Adam, I might have sent it to you. I'm not sure. I had this thing, like I call it the dollhouse, which with having the four ladies, and then having like a tournament, and then we shoot everything kind of similar, not unlike what We Bring It did like a couple of years ago, where they shot everything they did that January, and then they spent the rest of. They made it, I think, all the way to like September, October, and they released all the matches out. I had it where, and we did the single. Originally, it was supposed to be the Mother's Day tournament, single mothers tournament in May, and then from May to December, it would release out with all the matches out throughout there. Everything would have been shot in 4 days. Like here, I'm sitting here in the resort in Williamsburg, because I got one here, I got 5 in Virginia Beach I can pick from. I got one in Kitty Hawk. I can do that one too. It was just, I got enough space. Like, it could be really nice. It's just a matter of how do I get the talent here and back. And so I just know it was just such an undertaking. I was like, Lord, 4? I'm like,
that's where you go back to your local talent, and I don't know anything about Virginia Beach. I would assume there's a couple colleges down there that you may be able to recruit a little bit. But the danger in recruiting, just a college age, at least semi-athletic, female to do this, is they don't know, like we talked about when the show first started, they don't know what they're getting into.
Right.
And if they think they're just going to show up and do some kind of a, college bar oil wrestling or mud wrestling kind of thing, that's not going to fly.
Right. And so that's what I was telling Clem. I was like, because even some of my earlier productions, I have some stuff in the can that I never released, because it's like I've been still trying to get to that level of what you guys are, and I'm like, I haven't gotten it yet. Now, it's competitive, it's sexy, it's entertaining, it's competitive, but it's not a cat fight. And it was like, because me and Clem went through this whole thing of defining what a cat fight was, and so we had to go back into that. Like, okay, we felt that it had to have at least hair pulling, at least open hand body slaps.
Yes, at least.
Yep. We said kicking only from a standing position.
Yes.
Yeah. We have breast attacks, full force breast attacks, full force crotch attacks. And what else did we have?
I don't know.
I know the body punching. We was
debating.
We were debating. Some people like to have it, some people don't. But I know the girls are real picky about open hand slaps to the face.
Sure.
If you that could be an extra thing, I can live without it. But I'm like, at base, if you just gave me hair pulling, breast attacks, crotch attacks, kicking, and open hand slaps, I can live with that. At least on the base level, and still call it a cat fight.
Yep.
After that, lower and higher than that, then it's like, okay, well then you're competitive wrestling, and
MMA stuff. Yeah.
And some fans get pretty passionate about the difference between the two. I get it. Like, was it Blakey Daly?
Yes.
Yes.
He is a purist.
He
Yeah.
is a purist.
Purist. He does
Yeah,
not
he is
want to
a purist.
see any scissor submissions. He does not
Nope.
want to see any headlocks or anything.
Yeah, he's an old school. He is what we call the old school catfight fan. That would be him.
Now, with my thing with Blakey, I went almost encyclopedic on him because I said he reminds me of the guy from the time when I first started finding out about catfighting, which goes back to the Betty Page where the ladies would have the corsets with the thigh highs and the stockings and the garters, and they didn't have any kind of training, like any kind of, and they just pulled and just went at it. They didn't know scissors or locks or holes. But I told him, I said, sir, just even looking at anything you see on World Star now, the girls now, because like case in point, high school wrestling under the NFHS, National Federation of High Schools, as far as girls who wanted to wrestle in high school, numbered 840 back in 2004. Fast forward to 2019, you have over 21,000 girls now. High school wrestling. So the reason why I bring that up is because now, as of August 1, this past August 1, the NCAA has now allowed wrestling for women to be an emerging sport now counts as a varsity sport. So in 15 years, it went from 21,000 to 8,000. So I told Blakey, like, if you look at most of these girls and the stuff that was doing like World Star, they have older brothers or cousins, or they all have like some kind of jiu-jitsu or something. Where you see them even now in the street fights, they're doing some kind of scissors. They're just trying to do an arm bar. You know, whether they watch Ronda Rousey do it, or they have some cousins, or they all took karate or something. So I said, so what I said, Blake, what you're asking for is something that is almost like a fleeting of the past, because now even just young girls now, like my younger cousins and some female cousins, they know how to, like, we taught them like self-defense stuff, like basic self-defense stuff, where they know how to do a hip toss, they know how to do a Kimura lock, they know how to do a rear naked choke, they know how to do these things, you know, because I'm just like, it's like to ask them to act like they don't know how to do that. I'm like, it's going to be kind of problematic because the culture itself has shifted in that regard. So, me, I like seeing two highly skilled people kill it. I'm going to mute myself, Clem. I'm going to, because so he knows why. So
I know why. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna carry it on from here. So yeah, you're right. So what he said is pretty much right in the case of saying it's becoming more and more MMA based because of the UFC and how popular it's become. That more and more women, like you said, World Star and everything else. You see a lot of street fights become more of an MMA battle more than the basic ones. I understand what Blake is trying to do, but he has to understand that the old school way of cat fights is pretty much obsolete and gone. This is just how it is.
It's limiting. You know, we talking to Tilly when she went out and fought for Sweet Fights, when she fought Mila, you know, she was like, what do you do? You know, it's strictly pain based, and that's, I mean, that's a flavor. You know, that's something that some people like. I like a mix of both, you know, and Lyric is great at both. But Lyric also understands, in order to make it a good production and to make it entertaining, you have to incorporate as many different aspects as you can. You know, her legs are killer. They're killer.
Yeah.
And you know, there's no reason why she couldn't get every submission using legs. But she knows that that's not
what you guys want to see.
That's not what fans want to see all the time, over and over.
I'll do it at least once so that I know I at least have that one tap.
Well, and you remember the Valor fight. I mean, her and Valor went back and forth and back and forth. And they're both hard-headed, and that was the only way I think that Lyric was going to get a submission.
I agree.
That is the only way I can get a submission out. That's the only way I've been able to get a submission out of her.
Yeah. I remember her reaction. So yes, I remember that one. They were. Y'all both were stubborn. It seems like y'all two knew each other inside out. Even though I guess it goes back to your private fighting days when y'all fought each other, because that was kind of clear and obvious. So that was great. I agree with you, Adam. Like you said, we're all different. Like you said, us Cat 5 fans, we're all different. Like you said, most of us want something else. I like a mixture too myself. I like a little back and forth myself.
Some of the problem, to go back to some of the stuff you guys were talking about at the beginning with getting new girls or whatever. I think producers need to veer away from models, because they're the ones that are like, well, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, and then blah blah blah. Okay,
Right.
because I get it. You make the majority of your money off of modeling and shoots. So
Yep.
then you bring them in to do these cat fights and they start, taking the fat out of the rules. What's it leave? Okay, if you can't do what's, there, then you need to keep moving. It's just not. And I think producers need to look at that too. Well, hey, look, they're a model. They have a shoot next week. Sorry, I'm going to tear your tits up. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
So,
yes.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I guess for me, I want to use my own stuff, but I know I haven't gotten that fight or that level yet. That, like I said, that baseline that Adam talked about, where it's like, and it's like, okay, so how do I go about trying to explain? Because what I do, and I think I might have sent it to y'all before. I have like the form that I have. I list like all this stuff. I have, you have the new topless, non-topless. That's like one category. Then I have like the different types, because some people would do mixed matches, some won't. Some would do erotic fights, some won't. Some would do consequence matches, all kind of stuff. Then we had the next level, which will have like the different attire, because some people feel comfortable in full leotards and stuff, and some people just won't, whatever. So I have that. Then I have the different scenarios, whether it's pool, water, grass, beach, carpet, whatever. And then my favorite one is the last one, which I have the aggression level, where I have the basic, I have the different types of, whether it's dealing with the hair pulling, which I call Hollywood, which you just
Hollywood style. Yep.
What you could use for control, but you're not trying to wrap and pull and all that. Same thing with the breast attacks, cross attacks. Same thing with the what's the other one? Other piece we had. Oh, the one that was like no holds barred, but I only had
No holds barred.
Out of 90 submissions, I only had 2 that actually ever selected that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, they want everything. They want everything. That's
I'm
what
like,
that is.
okay. I'm like, yeah, right. But I think again, it comes down to, and I let the girls know, is that depending on what level, how much you put, options is going to determine how often you get to work and how much you get. Because you just want just the basic stuff. I mean, again, we talk about basically competitive grappling, competitive wrestling, like basically NAGA level stuff. Not saying that you couldn't make a business out of that, but we can't do NAGA level stuff and then call it a cat fight. That's those are two different. Those are two different things. If you want to do that, that's fine, But and the reason why I list all the options, because some of the stuff is not my cup of tea, like hog tie matches and stuff. That's not my cup of tea. But I know there are some people that like that, or if I have somebody call and request, and then I can just pull up on my database. Boom, boom, these are all the girls that do it. Oh, you got some. I had 2 that said they only wanted to do mixed matches. Okay, all right, fine.
Cool.
You see what I'm saying? Or if I have another producer like yourself or like Tilly that say, hey, do you have anybody that wants to do this? Mud or Jello or whatever. Okay, like I have.
Okay.
She wants to do Jello. Coleslaw. That's it. That's all she wants to do. She wants to do what? Okay, fine. Okay. But all right. So and then that's not even. We still ain't even gotten to the height, the weights, the the height and the weight and all of that, age. So we ain't even got into all that. Yeah. So and Adam, what you were saying about the colleges and stuff, because I work at one. Like what I basically do is I start from 21 and up. Like if you're under 21, I don't
no.
It's like it just.
I agree with you. I agree with you. The 21 has to be. Like I agree. The 21 parts. Yeah, we should start with that.
And that's even including just the grappling stuff, just the NAGA level stuff. I'm like, I'm not gonna even do it. Because by then, at least you should have some kind of independence of mind.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Maybe.
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 So, but my biggest thing is trying to figure out where do we go from here. I think the minor league thing. I think if that's something with the sponsors, and like having that vetting from the newbies, and Where
I
like when we
agree.
talked about the base 5, and then just have it to where that like maybe instead of maybe the full force Russian crotch attacks, it may be just like open hand slaps or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to see. Because if you can't handle that, God forbid you
No.
put in front of, like I said, a lyric or a sexy wife or the
Yeah.
Valor or
Oh,
Gia,
boy.
you just gonna get this
Oh.
ass. It's over, and then that gives the time for you. We can really engorge
Making
you into that.
evaluations. Yeah.
And into that. Now tell me what y'all think about this from a price structure, because these were the 2 different price structures I had in mind. From the standpoint of, let's say, I know the money part is the part with everybody, but again, we're trying to make an investment. We're trying to figure out if you worth the salt, like, and y'all can tell me from a mental standpoint. Do you think? I know some girls is more so about, okay, I want the same amount whether I win or lose. My ex told me, she said, baby, you gotta give these babies an incentive for winning, or else they could just lay on the mat and just hot dog it. He said, it's gotta be some incentive. I'm like, really? That was like really one of the few nuggets she gave me. So what I did is, so I swapped it to where it's like, okay, so we did the purse. I'm trying to remember what was it was. I think it was a $600 purse. No, it was 3 6. Yeah. So there was, depending on the level they were going to do, it was the total purse was either going to be $600 or $900, depending on how, because I'm giving you an option. Which one y'all want? But both of y'all have to agree. That's the thing. I can't have
You
one
have
want to
to
do
agree.
900 and one has to do 6. No. We both got to do one or the other. Okay. And so we'll just use the 600 one just for, because the math is a lot easier. So I had it to where either, and then again, even in the 600, there was a split with that. If it was like, if they was like, well, I only want to do this, this, and this, or take this out, okay, then fine. Then you both only get 300, that's it. Or we had a set where the loser got 200 and the winner got 400. So you got twice as much for winning if you did, if you lose, if you want to bet on yourself. So the real difference was only $100. It's just a matter of, so like I said, we put all those escalators in. Same thing with the 900. It was 450, 450, or it was 300 if you lost, 600 if you won. So,
yep.
And me and Clem, we just said,
we said that, and we
kind of that, because we figured, because again, going to the thousands to the 2000, it's just
that's
like,
high levels
look, we can't have no boy. I said we can't have no boy duds. I said the industry cannot survive the duds.
Especially not knowing, like you said, especially not knowing what caliber of fighter you're getting. You can't just go and on campus or on some Model Mayhem website and say, hey, winner gets $1,000 and the loser gets 800, and then the match is shit. It's like, well, and then you're out $1,800 and nobody wants to buy it.
Correct.
It's funny that you bring up it's funny that you bring up the winner's bonus, because I just had this conversation with Tilly not 4 or 5 days ago, and she's all for it.
Yeah, because it's game theory. It's practical game theory. It's like if I know what I'm willing to lose, because for some people they look at what they're willing to lose versus what they're willing to gain, which is why you have some people they always want to go the safe route and say, oh well, look, I just want the 300 just regardless. But then that's where I kind of like how I had the 6 and 9, because the ones that have the math majors in their head, they'll sit there and think about, okay, I can do 3 and 3 equal, but if I take the 900 level, I know worst case I'm leaving with 300. But I think I could take I can walk out with 6, and then that's where you see if it, it's just a matter of.
I'm just as passionate about winning as I am about a winner's bonus. So
right.
Even I've been in matches where we just split the sponsorship straight down the middle. But she's gonna get everything I got because I'm not walking away a loser.
That's a mindset thing.
So
that's a mindset. That's a mindset.
And you can't teach that. You either gotta,
Yep.
I think the other big problem I know I personally have is the actual recruitment. Like I'm the type of guy, I'd rather just do the shooting, the edit, and with my job, I have the ability to like run around with, oh shoot, I just literally had it. with all kind of cameras and gadgets and all kind of stuff. Like Clem will tell you, oh yeah, it was right behind it. Like these things, like I shot one match with it, and it was the most beautiful thing. When one of them Osmo pockets, I had like 2 or 3 of them bad boys. Put this thing on motion track and just kept it going. I kept everything shot in 4K 1080 60 frames. It was beautiful. The shot was beautiful. The match wasn't. So I had to end up killing it because one of the girls, she was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I got in a car accident." The girl had glass coming out of her knee.
Oh my god!
First of all, that was a terrible mistake. She should have never took it out to start with. And she didn't tell you, did she? She didn't tell you until the match actually happened. And
so 2 days before, 2 days. So we had a call. We did a phone call a week before. No, yes, a week before. Then we did a Zoom interview so the 2 girls could meet 2 days before. And both times I asked, is there anything physical, anything that you went through, anything, that we need to know now? Because again, I had did kind of a 2-minute smorgasbord of what we was looking for, just stuff that was out in the internet that's been like public domain, like Crystal Films or whatever for years, just so they can get an idea of what I'm looking for. And it was all gung-ho for it. And then we get there, and the other girl, she's just breaking down crying, talking about, I really needed the money and all that. I ain't worked in 6 months. I done drove up here to Petersburg. And got this room. And now the other girl feels bad because now it's like, she's feeling like, well, I can't go as hard. I mean, when the girl has glass come, because she was in a car accident 2 weeks prior.
Oh boy!
I'm like, hello, that's important. You got glass coming out of your knee. No,
that's one of the things that I'm grateful. We don't recruit. I got this, and we've been fortunate to where Tam, she was a private opponent at first, and then Valor was a private opponent, and and those are the 2 that that agreed to show their faces. I'm not trying to get on, different websites or Craigslist or put flyers around campus, and I don't have to do that. And then once Lyric established her name, then it became a possibility for us to reach out to other producers and be like, hey, and the fact that Tilly, is here, and the same town, a fan could be like, hey, what about her versus, whoever, and Tilly could, with her name, reach out to that girl and be like, hey, are you interested? So,
and the girls recruit themselves so much easier because they know you have it is innate. I get it. It is innate. That's why I say I just rather be the guy. Let me just shoot. Let me just edit. Let me record. All of that to post admin work. I want someone to handle talent, as Triple H would call executive vice president of what is called live creative and talent relations. I just want somebody to handle the talent part. Because I get it that sometimes, with me being the guy, especially if they don't know me from Adam, like, okay, let's say time of the month comes around. And here it is, it's fight day, and time of the month is here. And it's like, look, I get, even though I grew up in a house full of women and I got nothing but sisters, I get it if you feel like, I don't know this guy, I don't feel comfortable telling him, like, look, I don't feel like fight because time of the month is here. Yeah, I get it, but at least that's what it's like. Sometimes I'll be like, look, now the ones that know me cool, they'll be like, Paul, up. He's here. I can't do that with it. I said, all right, fine. We schedule, we'll do something later. But then we have what we call the the fatal foursome.
The fatal foursome.
Yeah, the fatal foursome, which is like for the no-shows and the still.
I got death in the family. I got death in the family.
Somebody always dies. Yes, I can.
Someone's always dying.
I can go on my Facebook tweet right now and be sad because somebody that I know that died, or somebody that I care for has somebody that died.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally every day I can do that. Okay, fine. Somebody's always having to be dying on match day. All right.
Okay, fine.
Fine. Yeah. The second thing is, and I was too emotional to continue. Okay, great.
Okay.
Right, the second thing is they overslept. To lose all contact with the known world.
Yep.
Third thing is they got in a car accident.
Oh, my car don't work.
The car don't work. The car broke down. There's something dealing with the car. with the car as their mode of transportation.
Yeah.
And it just so happened every time we get ready to shoot, your car breaks down. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Don't come in the car.
Cool.
Over, left,
Cool.
whatever. Just do something else.
Fine.
And then what was the last one?
I'm
it was
trying to remember.
overslept. The car worked. Somebody died. What was the fourth one?
I'm trying to think.
Oh shoot! It wasn't time. Oh God! What was the fourth one? It wasn't that they forgot. Shoot!
I just forgot.
It was important. It'll come back to me. But yeah, it's just that we'll sit here and we're like, what? Every time I was like, yeah. So I just wish, because the few good runs that I've had is when the girls started recruiting themselves, where they would bring their friends or co-workers or whatever.
Agreed.
And then it just, because again, now granted, I can spot it. I could go walking, like for example, me and say my friend Michelle, my friend Kenya, we can go walk in the mall. Well, it used to be, well, now with COVID.
Now you can't do that.
You laughing, yeah, because you know there ain't no more mall. Okay, but we used to go walk in the mall. I could go spot, because I could tell by the build, the way they walk and stuff like that. I said, okay, I think this person would be good. This person, not so much. This person, she got a long neck, which will make her susceptible to everything. Rear naked chokes, everything. She's done. Curtains, long torsos, that scissors the light. She's out. Stumpy legs with long torso, nah, they ain't gonna right there. She's out. Whereas I go and talk, I look like the creepy old guy, or the creepy guy. She goes out there and talk, and it just comes off bad. And so that's the thing. I'll be like, look, y'all just go recruit. And then I'm like, and let me just handle all the other stuff.
So I go to the gym Monday through Friday, and I would never ever do it. But I look at some of the women who are at the gym, and obviously they're fit, or they might have a certain look, like they're ready to fight right now, and I'm always like, I'm never going to do it because I don't want to fuck up the gym for me or for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go to the gym the next day and they're like, oh, there's that weird dude that some weird flyer. Then they go tell people at the desk and I get kicked out of the gym. Right. But,
right.
I don't know anything about recruiting, and I'm glad that
I guarantee you, Lyric go and do it. Ain't a problem.
Yeah.
Ain't a problem. If she sees somebody, she's like, you know what?
Okay.
It's just one, which is fine. I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with that too.
That's why I say, just send Mama. We'll be the minor league. We'll be the Ohio Valley Wrestling. We'll be the Memphis Championship Wrestling. I'll be the low level where I'll be Jerry King, the one that runs here. And then on the big stage, all right, hey, look, this one's ready. And I can say to the sponsors, here's a sample. Boom, 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 boom. And then for the sponsors, they can just pick and say, okay, we like this person. They got good mic skills. We think they're like, for example, like Alexa Brooke. Alexa Brooke have been trying with me to try to get a fight for almost 2 years. Matter of fact, she changed her name, and I didn't even recognize who she was until she sent it. I said, wait a minute, weren't you the other lady? They're like, yeah. She said, well, I changed my name. Okay, fine. Because I understand, and I do tell the young ladies, I said, look, if you're really going to do this, change your name or use an alter alias or something. I have that on the form. Change it. You don't use your government. Okay. All right. So, because you just have the idiots that just want to just add to babble you with questions, and I'm sure Larry, y'all got they want to ask you what's your favorite hole and all this other stuff every single time. And I'm sitting there. It's just,
come on, man.
Right. And then they'll wreck every post when you just. I'm just like, y'all too much. So I say, if you can, just have a separate. I'll create a separate Facebook, Twitter, whatever for it. But I've always been in the mindset of having a minor league, having it where the girls at least 1-2 fights in, we'll find some time, like I said, local, regional, something. Because at least between DC and the thing I like about between DC and here, I can fly folks in and out of. I got Norfolk, I got Richmond, I got IAD. I would even go to BWI and go get folks. IAD or the DCA. I hate going to Reagan. Just because getting in and getting out. But just to do it, you know what I'm saying? I know there's some direct flights I can get to Orlando direct. And because of my job, I go on the road a lot. And especially I go to Texas at least twice a year, maybe 3 times a year. I can go out west, like to Vegas or whatever, like once every 2 years. I'm going to New Orleans in June. So there's opportunities for me to. I go to Florida. I go to Miami every year. I got to bring Clem back on because he done kicked out. Hold on, because his internet it just resets every so many minutes.
Yeah,
Sorry, Clem,
sorry,
I got
big.
I will say this
Go
though.
ahead.
So sometimes I can travel to them and be like,
Right.
okay, boom, here, meet me here, da da da, and do something there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will say though, you're talking about, making a junior league type thing. Your name is well enough known, and you've got, the database, and you've got the business plan in mind where you could theoretically set something up, and if a girl does well and she performs to what you think is the standard and she enjoys it, then what you could do is like almost like a farm league. You call Steve out at Sweet Fights, you call Tilly,
Yep.
you
You're
call.
kind of like the fluffer.
I can't take her anywhere. I can't. But you vet these girls, and once you, with your level of knowledge and expertise, you can call Steve or you can call Tilly and be like, hey, this girl has fought twice for me. She knows what the standard is. She's a safe hire for you.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
right. Because I'm willing to be the guy. Because somebody has to do it. I said.
Yeah, I agree. Someone has to be minor leagues.
Because I think I'm the most mobile of the group, and then when it comes to equipment, and the vice versa, the thing that I would like to offer to all the producers is like, look, if there's certain cameras and stuff that you always wanted to look and try, because with Tilly, Lord, I was going back and forth. I said, look, just getting the stabilizer. I said, look, I got stabilizers for days. I got stabilizers I can't get rid of. I'm like, look, I said, make it stabilize. It looks better. I would send you some or something you want to demo just to try it out. Because some of this stuff is not cheap, especially when you got to funnel all this money back into production. As soon as you give it out, you got to get it right back in. Whether it's the video editing software or that kind of stuff, I said I have access to those things. To where if y'all want, because like with Hans, Hans love his. Now he went and got the Osmo Mobile where he can make his phone the one. So I went through that with him.
Yep.
So those kind of things. It's just a thing of, it's like, I say, I have access. I say, look, I got a warehouse in New York. I can make the call. Boom. You go in there, pick it up, and then 7 days you go drop it back. Matter of fact, you just put it in the box. They came in, they'll drop ship it. It comes with the label already on it, and they'll go right back. You don't even have to go. You just call UPS, something, hey, come pick it up, and they'll just come and pick it up. So these things exist, and that's why I want to kind of offer. And my dream would be like to have like Virginia Beach or whatever, Norfolk would be that spot where if people wanted to come through and traffic. I don't know location thing I can't do much with, but because of what I do, I travel enough to where I can go wherever, So California, that's like every 5 years. But I can get to Vegas because everybody from California love going to Vegas. I learned that because my baby sister live in San Francisco, Oakland. So she always talking about it. She's a look. When people talk about coming to California, they're like, yeah, we rather leave California and go somewhere else. I said, well, where do y'all go? We go to Vegas. Okay,
Vegas.
Fine.
Yep.
And Vegas, fine. We'll do something in Vegas, Yeah, same thing here. Because I got stuff in Vegas. I got Orlando, Vegas, Hilton Head, Williamsburg, Kitty Hawk, Virginia Beach, Sedona, Arizona, which is I think it's supposed to be outside Phoenix somewhere.
Yeah, that's outside
Branson, like all the tourist spots that I can kind of get to. Because up north I don't really have anything. Ocean City is almost horrible to get into. I feel like I'm missing something else obvious. Anyway. But yeah, but like I said, I could get to and fro. Get folks in and out, what have you. But yeah, but I'm maybe having things like, look, for a little bit a month, if y'all can support with, I'll say, hey, look, I got these ladies interested, And then, like I said, just to have something to say, and I would think for a producer, it's kind of like a thing that, hey, will help fund, that way it kind of keeps from pulling it's an investment. It's investing to see, hey,
Right.
this girl may work, this girl may not work, or let's say if the girl wants to do some customs of some other kind, mixed matches, whatever. She's just not good at catfighting, but she may be good at something else like Tilly or whatever wants to do, like a hearing the damsel in distress videos and stuff.
Yep.
I can say, hey, for that cosplay stuff, all right, here, cool.
Here.
She can do that, boom, and they may can do some stuff like that. So
I think you're in a good spot. We had the guy that owns Fresh Fight. He used to own Tidewater Ultimate Female Fighting.
Yep.
And
I was here when he first started, and he really got everything up and running.
So we're good friends with him, and he did well.
I'm good friends with him too.
Which why I thought it would be just a slam dunk, but
me too.
It's just,
and that's a story for a different show. The reason why he got shut down.
I was here when he got canned. Yeah, it was just
But I mean, you've obviously got some local talent there. I think he recruited heavily from the college age type. So instead of branching out and talking about all these different cities, you may have some local talent there. You just got to filter. Hey man, her battery's about to die.
I'm waiting for it to just go. I wasn't thinking we should have charged it.
Yeah, we pretty much done. Clem, you had any other questions?
No, man. There's nothing much for me to say. I have nothing much to say. I was just flowing in, listening to conversation. So
you gotta find somebody that's gonna replace me because this old guy ain't gonna do this much longer.
Right.
It's gonna be kind of hard.
Like,
we know the time. Yeah. Like you always said, we always know that cat fighters have 3 or 4 years. We understand body goals. We get it.
I didn't get started until
you were what, 44?
45.
45 when she started.
45 when we started.
That blew us away. That was probably the most shocking thing I learned all last year. Literally.
Me too.
I was like, what?
She said she was 46. I was like, what?
38. I'm thinking she's 38.
I thought she was like 40. I was shocked. She shocked me.
Like, yeah, I'll be 49 in July.
Wow. So that means you stopped right when you started right when Gen D stopped. Because that was one person I've always had in the back of my mind. It was like, if she could have, I would have been interested to see how that went.
I tried to hook that up with Carrie because her and Carrie are like best friends. Okay. And I was like, God, man, because Jen, she's favorites and she's vicious too. I think her and Eric would be incredible. But Carrie was like, nah, she's done. So.
She's done.
She's done.
Only so just like jumping, you only got so many jumps in the legs, like ducking. You only got so many jumps. And then like,
So she said she's got a couple more left in her. She wants, she definitely wants Sexy Wife before she hangs it up, and maybe a rematch with Sherry.
I want a rematch with Sarah Brooke.
Sarah Brooke, she definitely wants a rematch with Sarah Brooke.
Oh, she can beat Sarah Brooke. She can beat her. Sarah's not that great. Sarah's great, but she's been so busy with her own stuff with lingerie fighting league and everything else.
Barely holding on to the title, the number one.
She's barely holding on.
She's barely holding on.
Yeah,
she's tough though.
That's why I want a rematch. That's why I want a rematch so I can knock her off of that spot before I retire.
So there you go. If she had,
you want to retire, I'm retired number one, and then I'm done.
She wants to retire number one. I'm out.
If she had 2 fights before she hung it up, it'd be
Sexy Wife, Sarah Brooke.
Well,
by the way, for people who don't know, that fight's going to happen. You just heard it from them. I'm not saying anything. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I spoke with Chris. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, because some rando messaged me on Twitter, and he's like, "Hey, I heard Sexy Wife's not interested in fighting Lyric anymore." And I talk with Chris and Sexy Wife, I mean, weekly. And I was like, what? So I messaged him, and he's like, no, that's not the truth. So I
always
probably,
trolls
hopefully sometime this summer or fall, we can make at least that one happen. So, all right, man, I got like 2% left on the battery, fellas.
Okay. All right, we'll let you go.
All right,
thank you for coming on the show.
Talking to y'all.
All right, then.
All right.
This thing up there.
Yes, sir. So we like to
ladies and gentlemen, that was Lyric and Adam.
We'd like to thank them for coming on to the show.
Fantastic. We learned a lot of stuff. Hope a lot of people got a lot of things. I know this video will probably be up later, eventually later this week. Hope y'all learned something. Now And you also got an exclusive, like the man said. Lyric and what's name, Sexy Wife will happen. People, be patient. It's going to happen this year somewhere.
Yes.
And she hopes that she goes against Sarah. I want that one to happen too. We'll see.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, other than that, I don't have nothing else.
I have nothing to do.
Good.
So, time for the socials. All right. I can be found on Facebook on Clem Akufo 238, Clem _ AK UFO on Instagram, and Clem Akufo on Twitter.
And I can be Claus Webb on Twitter, and I still have the Instagram for now. It's another month I done made it to the Instagram. But yeah, any day now I may cut that thing off, and then there you go. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Claus and Clem show is the second and fourth Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. The next show will be May 24th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, 8:30 Central time, and you West Coast people 6:30. With that said, my name is Clem Akufo with my partner Claus Webb. We are out from the parts unknown.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Bye.